Well, good morning, and thank you for the introduction, Reverend Bonnie. That was awesome. And Lillian, your reading and song was so spot on, so that's fantastic. So, like Reverend Bonnie said, the theme for this month is Love Dissolves All Fear. And I'm thinking about it and going, okay, what am I going to talk about? And then it almost that lightning bolt is Spirit is fearless. And how do we incorporate that fearlessness of spirit into our lives, and what are the techniques and some of the ideas that you can do to bring that fearlessness into your life? So that's where I want to sort of take this. And then the other thing that you might be wondering is, why did Reverend Bonnie call me? Yes, I've got the business background, but I wanted to sort of give you a little bit of my backstory and how my journey has gotten to where it is right now and where it's going to be going. So I'm Catholic, Catholic grammar school, Catholic college, Catholic university, all-girl Catholic high school, master's. So my indoctrination into the Catholic faith has been pretty intense, and I swear my mom has a hotline to the Pope. So it's but she's so cool, and she's been absolutely fantastic as I've gotten involved in other things. But one of the ideas that I was introduced to very early in college was different religions. So I took a lot of different classes, and that was very helpful because I was able to take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and see where it could fit into my life. And so I wasn't really stuck on one certain path. So it was probably 4 years ago that I was introduced, and through Nancy, my partner, I remember we were sitting at Jason's Deli and having some good corned beef sandwiches, and she's sort of talking to and said, hey, would you want to come with me and sort of get an understanding of what this is? And I'm very blessed to be curious. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll come. So over the time, I have come and listened and heard all the other speakers. So it's been great to get that sort of perspective. And that's where my perspective comes and where I want to talk about this. So for right now, I want to sort of how to get the most out of this talk. And what are the three real principal tenets of science of mind and religious science? And one of them is that divine spirit is within me, okay? It's in me, it's through me, and that even if you don't think God loves you, or today you're having a crappy day and it's not working and I don't think, God loves me, it's there. It's that little tiny flicker of flame, and it's trying to keep that flicker of flame going. And what are the sort of the tools and the techniques that we can use to do that? So that's the first thing. Know that divine spirit is in you. It's through us. We are part of it. It's there. The second one is that spirit is love, okay? There's absolutely no way you can have divine spirit or divine without love. They're one and the same, so that we have that love within us. The third one is that when there is spirit and there's love, fear does not exist. You can't have love with fear. And so the idea is that you have spirit within you, you have the divine within you, and that divine has the love. And so if you've got that love, fear isn't there. But you sort of think, well, yeah, that's nice in concept, and you can read this all in the book, but then why am I fearful? And why does that still, keep hitting me sometimes? And so I want to talk a little bit about a story, or give you first a quote from Ernest Holmes on love dissolves all fear. So he says, greater than fear is love. Love dissolves all fear, casts out all doubt, and sets the captive free. Love, like the river of life, flows through me and refreshes me with its eternal blessings. Love cannot be afraid. It is fearless. It is strong. It is mighty in its works. It can accomplish all things through the inner light of faith, and that life is all good, which fills me with the very being with a perfect, powerful presence. Love casts out fear. And that comes from the Science of Mind text. So we've got that love and that essence within us, but we also have that fear that seems to continue to bombard us. So I want to give you a little bit of story about a fear that I've had and I've had to overcome. And I was, this goes back to 1986. I was with Arbonne. It's a network marketing skincare company. And one of the things that you got to do is, of course, make some cold calls. I hated cold calls, okay? I did, the refrigerator was cleaned out. The stove was perfect. The lawn was mowed. The laundry was done. I mean, the dog's nails got cut. I mean, everything was perfect. I did the whole avoidance thing for trying to get, having to do that stuff. But it was like, okay, now what do I do? And I was at one of our conferences, and Rita Davenport, which is who was the president of Arbonne at that time, she's up on stage and talking, and she made the sentence called, you've got fear, and it's false evidence appearing real. And it was like, I'm not sure I heard about that. And I sort of thought about it, and it was like, oh, okay, I got it. And then over some time, I met with my mentor, and my mentor was Kim Kearns, and she was with Arbonne. And she made the comment, in order to do this business, you need to love yourself. I was like, oh, okay. And then she really pointed at me, and she says, do you love yourself? And I sort of got indignant, and I said, yeah, of course I do. What do you mean I don't love myself? But as I thought about it, it was like, maybe I don't. Maybe I haven't really loved myself or had that energy and that understanding of what that love is and that divine spirit is in me, so therefore that love is in me, therefore why am I fearless? Or why do I have that fear? And so then it started to where, okay, how do I do this? What are the tools? What techniques? And a lot of those have come from coming here and listening, to and doing some more reading. So now I can make cold calls all the time. And probably Nancy will say, well, the stove could be a little cleaner. And you didn't get the dog stuff like you were supposed to pick up in the yard, But it's like, it's that trade-off. It's like, okay, I can make cold calls. I can walk into a room from anybody and talk to them. My mom used to say that you could blend into the woodwork. You never really said anything. And now she probably would say, "Would you shut up? You just go off and talk to everybody and anybody." But that's where I've begun to work with my fear and help to overcome it. Now, with that fear, what are the tools? What can you do to overcome that fear? And there's three major things. One of it is faith, having the faith that you can actually do this. The other one is prayer, and the other one is meditation. And we've all talked to those in different ways. Now, let's see. Faith there's a story, and it comes from the Science of Mind's principles. And so we got that off the bookshelf at home. And I'll read you a quick passage from that about faith. And here it goes. There is an authentic story of a man who prayed for God to lift a fog. He was entering a harbor, and the captain of the boat refused to dock during the fog. This man of great spiritual faith took the captain into his cabin and prayed with him that during the night that the fog would be lifted. When they went on deck, it had cleared away. The man was a good man of faith. He was old-fashioned. He was an Orthodox preacher, but he was coming from such an area of faith. He was seeing through the fog into the night. As a practitioner of spiritual mind healing, it is continually confronted with the fog of fear, of superstition, of doubt. Otherwise, there would be no occasion for his practice. He will enter either the fog or see through it. So that's the idea of having that faith, knowing that, yes, we're in the fog and things don't seem to be working out the way we want them to, but we've got that faith. We have that inner divine spirit within us and the love within us that can move us past that faith. Then there's another example that they give where I have a deep and abiding conviction there is one divine, perfect presence in the universe, that the Spirit of truth is everywhere, that God is right where I am. There is neither doubt, confusion, nor fear, for I know I am rooted in the one, the only perfect, and the divine presence. So that really has spoken to me in the way of understanding that I have to have faith. And I think there's even a George Michael song called Faith. You got to have faith. So that's where you start in having that faith. Then there's a passage from the Science of Mind on prayer. And we have some, I know Lillian's here and Reverend Bonnie's here, and there's other practitioners that we usually have here, that you can use that prayer and that prayer treatment. So I highly, highly encourage you to do that treatment, because it reinforces, it helps build up that faith, and that's where the prayer comes from. Now with prayer, this is from a spiritual mind treatment. I know that spirit within me is God. I let spirit, which is perfect, complete, and whole, flow through me. I let the spirit of love and peace permeate my entire being. Desiring only which is good, seeing only that which is good. I have faith that my word shall not return unto me void. I surrender myself completely. Or I know that there is a creative spirit to this fact, and which will provide the evidence of this. I know that my faith operates through an immutable law, that there is no possibility whatsoever of it failing. I expect to meet my good, and I replace it with anticipation of that good. I know that good alone can come from me and return from me. Therefore, rest in calmness and confidence, knowing that divine love and infinite intelligence will guide and guard. So when you're out praying, and either I don't formally pray like I probably did when I was a kid in the Catholic religion, and there's times when sometimes those things just out of nowhere, well, all of a sudden I'll think of a prayer that I used to say as a kid. But more the prayer now is, I'm just thankful to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak, and I appreciate the fact that, Edie, you put together the food, and we've all brought, something, or that I'm out there and I'm grateful that I've got a home and just, a fantastic opportunity to just contribute. So those, and having the gratitude, that's a lot of prayer in itself. Then the third one is meditation. And meditation can come through many forms. I use in the evening guided meditation. I like listening to the YouTube guided meditation. But I know that many of you have gone through the magic of the soul and the meditation, the different types that you've gone through. And I know, Marianne, you've had different types of meditation that you've done, and the classes. So there's different types you can do, but one of the things on meditation is that there's creative meditation that can consist of any type of guided imagery or mental focus that creates an altered state of consciousness that is conducive to inner discovery. So that's when you have more of a creative meditation where you sort of dream and think about, where do you want to be and how do you want it to look, so that you can build that faith and confidence in you to go off and fight those fears and combat that fear. Then there's also receptive meditation. That is the act of transcending the thought process completely, settling the rational mind. And part of meditation is to clear that negative mind chatter, and that's hard. I mean, that takes a lot of practice. But if you do it and settle that chatter and say, I don't have that doubt. I'm going to release that doubt. I'm going to release that fear. That can be very, very powerful technique for you to use. Then there's also another part of it is that love dissolves fear in very, very subtle ways. It's not by brute force or argument, or you don't wake up one day saying, I'm fearful, but then you don't wake up another day saying, I'm fearless. So it's a process. And there's transformation, which is sort of, it's subtle, it's over time, and it's learning to take the techniques of prayer and faith and meditation and work yourself through that and transform from that shy person who blended into the woodwork, wouldn't talk to anybody. I just wouldn't want to say too much to anything or anybody, to the one who is not afraid. Not afraid to go out and network and talk. It doesn't mean I don't have fears, that's for sure. But I'm really, really working to get those fears out of my way. Also, lastly, want to talk about sort of the belief and how you can use belief to build up that faith, build up that confidence. And right now, from a work standpoint, I'm going through what they call this 30-day challenge. And it's 30-day challenge is to build a business off of these funnels and digital sales funnels. So it geeks me out, and I have a lot of fun with it. But to build this business within 30 days, launch it, and start making some money. And also part of that is what we call the 2 Comma Club. Now, Reverend Bonnie knows about the 2 Comma Club. Nancy does. But what it is 2 Comma Club would mean to make $1 million in sales, 2 commas, out of these funnels. And so that's the challenge that I have. Now, I definitely share, so don't worry about that. When we get to that point, we share. And also, I think the motivation is to give back. I really, really enjoy giving back and doing it. So that's going to be the fun part of that. But one of the things that we worked on for this first week, Monday through this Friday, was belief. And that was our pre-training. And part of that belief was to understand that, okay, yeah, maybe you don't have time to do this challenge. Boom. How do we break that belief? Maybe you are fearful that this funnel's going to fall. Yeah, it could, but then start the next one. Or maybe, I don't have the money to invest in this stuff. Okay, well, there's other ways to do this. So that whole week has been really intense on building our belief that we can do this. So one of the quotes was to take imperfect action. So almost as the Nike commercial, just do it. If you are a little fearful of something, most of the time it's false evidence appearing real. And if you just do it, and I know that there's analysis paralysis, and people think, well, I got to have it absolutely perfect before I launch it, I go do something. Take imperfect action. Just the fact that you're taking that action, you're moving forward, you're showing that faith, you're showing a little bit of confidence, the universe just blows up, and it's all blowing up in the best of ways to do it. So tomorrow starts the actual 30-day challenge, so it's going to be fun. So we'll see where all that goes. But I'm excited because I'm confident that I don't know what funnel I'm going to build. I don't know what product I'm going to sell. I don't know all the little intricacies of it, but I have faith and I have belief that I will get this done within those 30 days. So it's going to be fun. So we'll have to see what happens after 30 days. I'll let you know. But so lastly, I wanted to talk that love alone can create the harmony and bring that harmony into our lives. And I think a lot of us, sometimes that's missing because we're fearful and we have the doubt and we're not confident in ourselves. So I want to do just a little exercise. You can do it either visually or if you got a piece of paper and a pen, that's fine too. Whatever works for you guys. So draw a circle, or think about a circle. And within that circle say, Spirit is within me. So you're that circle, and Spirit is within me. And then outside of that, you can do it one of two ways. Nancy and I had a good discussion about that last night. I perceive it as, like you got fear and doubt and worry and concern sort of all hitting you in that circle. But if you have divine spirit, which you know is within you, and you have divine spirit is love, and you know that love and fear cannot coexist at the same time, then you have everything you need, all the tools, everything, to combat that fear and that doubt and that worry. Now, there's the opposite, where Nancy was bringing my attention to. She said, well, I'm not sure I like that, because that's pretty negative. I said, okay, what else would we do? And she says, well, I like the idea of, spirit is within me, but then there's the good and the fearless and, love, and that's what I want to bring in to that spirit within me. So you got a couple options and different ways to look at it, but I think the core principle and what I really want to make sure that I convey is just have that belief, have that confidence, so that when the rocky roads come by and the things that you get hit with on a daily basis, whether it's health challenges, relationship challenges, money challenges, know that you have everything you need within you, because you are the divine spirit. So love is there, the confidence is there, and you can move forward. So thank you very much, and this was fun.